Welcome back to Bookmates with Shelley and
Yvonne, hi everybody.
kind of messed
Happy
up.
fall.
I messed up that intro a little bit.
It's okay. At least it wasn't it was echo free,
It
so
was
no
echo
problem.
free. So let's just tell our listeners how long it takes Shelley to figure this out every single time.
Hey, I don't judge because I don't know squat of how to do it. So I just, I'm here. I have like different subcategories. So now I have one for bookmates and I just went ahead and wrote that in hours so we know.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so now we know because I'm going to forget it. And next time I'm going to be like, Yvonne, why is it echoing?
And
Let
I'm
me
like,
pull
I don't know.
this note up for you. All right. So we had originally planned to do an episode today,
Yes.
and we were going to continue with Queen of Shadows, right?
Yes. Yes,
And
exactly.
then life.
Exactly.
So
Ta-da!
let me tell you what happened to me this morning. I didn't
Oh
have
no.
kids last night.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
So my sister took the boys for their annual Halloween sleepover.
That how do you say it in Tante? Tanti?
Tanti. Well,
Tanti. That Tanti is the best.
yeah, I mean, it is taunt, so French for aunt, but they kinda
Okay.
go back and forth because whenever they were little, they would say "Taunty," and now it's more taunt, but, yeah, so they went with her last night, and so this morning, I was like, "I get to sleep in and have my coffee and just read and relax," and I'm laying there
And
in
nothing
bed.
of that happened.
8:30 is when I got up. That never happens.
Wow.
8:30, and the only reason I got up is because we're puppy sitting another dog right now, and I was
Because Shelly doesn't have anything on her plate. Nothing, people. She has all the time in the world. So yeah, of
so
course.
I threw an extra dog in the mix, so I wake up with this dog pouncing and the dogs playing together, but I was laying there thinking, "This is fine, I'm just gonna sip my coffee." It's like, "Wait, we're supposed to do a podcast today." The wheels will probably fall off in this podcast, but we'll just go through it and see where it goes. Yeah. So you've had a couple of trips.
Yes.
You had
All of
2
them.
trips to Orlando, right?
Yes, I had one in September, the second week of September. Then we came back. Then my husband was on a thing for work and then he came back. No, he was still there. I went to Chicago for like 3 days to check on my oldest. Came back, left for Orlando again and then made it back home in time before the hurricane passed.
Yes.
It was hectic.
Yeah. So tell our listeners that don't know why you were in Orlando the second time.
So I am a travel advisor. Ta-da! So I can help plan your trips. I started doing Disney and Universal only, but now I do everything. So yeah, we were celebrating the 25 years of the travel agency that I am a part of. And Disney threw us this amazing behind the scenes party at Epcot. We had to get in through some like buses and they enter us through I want to say yeah, it was through the back of England and then we had to walk through Canada and we had an amazing time. It was amazing and it was so fun to dress up and just not to think about having to cook food for anybody.
Yes, I loved looking so I was able to see it before I went off of social media temporarily. But I saw all your pretty dresses and you just looked amazing and had the biggest smile on your face,
Yeah,
and
it was
I
very needed.
loved it
You would
for
have
you.
been so proud of me because you know that I am very I'm not very fashion. I'm not a
Fashion
fashion forward
forward.
person, or I do not plan my, no, I'm not that person. But this was the first time I had to had like three different outfits for one day. I'm like, how do people do this? So
You looked
you have
amazing. I
thank
was
you so
blown away by it. I was like, "Look at Yvonne dressing all up and trying
much.
on some different things."
Yes. And Valeria helped me. One of the days we went to Target and she's like, I don't like this one, but let's try this one too. Yeah, I think that one works. Let me take a picture of you. It was super cute. So yeah,
Aw.
at least someone, she helped me.
Well, you coulda called me. I'm always up for
I
some
know.
shopping.
I know. I
I'm excited for you doing that and expanding more in that world
yeah.
because you didn't that was kind of on the kinda not back burner, but it was secondary to your other
Yeah,
job.
it was something that I did because I enjoyed it. I really enjoy the process of helping, plan everything. Um, so yeah, it was something that started as a side gig and something fun and different to do, and it's now my main focus, and I'm really happy about it. So yeah,
Nice. Well,
fun.
what have you been reading lately?
So So for those who are listening, you should have seen Shelly's face right now. She's like, "Here she comes. Let's just buckle up and see."
Buckle up and see. Okay, let's categorize. What are you listening to? What are you reading?
Okay.
And should we do like a parental guidance rating on
I
each
I
one?
have been super good
You have
with
been.
uh yeah, you have to be very proud. So I I finished listening to this book. It's called Bride.
Mm, yes,
It
that's
was
right.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you will like it. In my pepper scale, I will give it a 2.
Uh-huh.
It took a little bit longer than what I would like for it to, play out. See, I'm being so good at this.
So
Um,
pepper rating of 2, which that's where
yes,
I like to kinda hang out, like a 2,
yes,
3 is where I
yeah,
am. You're like
yeah,
a 10.
yeah. I'm infinite,
But
like
on a
this.
rating scale of 5, I think that's what you're gonna but you're still like
So
a
yeah,
10.
that one is like a 2.
Yeah.
It was um It was good. I think that if I would have read it, maybe I would have enjoyed it a little bit more
Okay. Oh, you
because
listened to that one.
yeah, I listened to that one because so I thought it was a dual narration,
Oh, and it
and it
wasn't?
was.
Oh.
No. And then I don't know if you guys have seen a meme of like when people are listening to, an audiobook and the girl is talking and then all of a sudden she does the point of view of the male character. It's the worst. Yeah, it but I had a free credit, so I listened to that one. It was good.
So what would you give it as an overall rating, like 1 to 5 star rating?
I will give it a 3.5.
Okay, so solid 3. So good book,
Yeah.
just not
Yeah, it's a good book.
amazing, not blown away.
It's not my the author is very good. I like how she did everything and she kept me a little bit, you know, I had a lot of things to do around my house around that time, so it was a good book. Right now I am reading two books at the same time.
Okay.
Well, maybe three. So there's one that it's called The Enchanted Hacienda. I think I told you about that
Yes.
one. That one is I'm really liking it. It's like this it's almost like Encanto, the movie
I
Encanto
had
regarding
wondered, like, just based on the little snippets that you told me, and then when you showed me the book the last time I was over
yes,
there, I kind
yeah.
of got that feeling.
It's good.
Oh,
I'm
fun.
enjoying that one. Um, then I downloaded a book based on something that I saw on social media. It's called Ignite. No, Enigma. Sorry, it's called Enigma,
Okay.
and I'm really liking it. And I found out that the audio book of that book is free until November 10th, and it's not dual narration, but the guy that does the voice of the MMC, he is super good. I really enjoy his voice. So I'm listening to that one. I'm on the second book of that one. And reading it at the same time. And then yesterday I started this one. It's called Phantasma or
Oh,
something
I
like that.
saw that one.
Yes, I've seen it a lot
Yeah.
on Instagram
Yeah.
because I think it's part of the Book of the Month Club or something like
Yes,
that.
I did see that.
So it was free on Kindle Unlimited. So I downloaded it and I started reading it yesterday. I'm kind of liking it because it's very gothy. So it's super cool for, for this type of for these dates.
Yeah.
So those are the ones that I have. I did find Quicksilver on Kindle Unlimited, and I
Okay.
have it downloaded because I have heard a lot of good things about that one. But the second part comes out in fall of 2025. So
Okay.
I don't know if I'm gonna dive into that one or just wait.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And what are you reading, my friend?
So, I'm doing the same thing. I have, like, 4 books going at one time.
There you go.
I did finally finish The Anxious Generation, which I've been
Yes.
slowly getting through because I really wanted to kind of take each section on and
Yes.
really implement it, think
Process
about
it.
it, all of
Yeah.
that. So, I really loved it, and I recommend the audiobook on that one just because, anytime that it's that type of book, I feel like is better
Mhm.
audiobook because it's just really hard to pay attention to
I
when you're just
Yes.
reading it just because
Yeah, I agree.
it's nonfiction. Um, but that prompted the social media detox a little bit.
Yes.
I mean, I do it every year anyway,
Yes.
and that just kind of, like, made me do it a little bit earlier because I usually do it during breaks, summer
Exactly.
break,
And for
winter break,
Christmas.
that type
Yeah.
of thing, and then, just the state of the world right now was getting to be a little
Yeah,
too overwhelming for
I
me.
agree.
We've talked about this before, like, we're both empaths, and we get really affected
Overwhelmed.
by yeah, we get affected by it and overwhelmed by everything happening, and, something that I really took from this book as well as I've mentioned it before, Stolen Focus by Johann Ari. I really liked that kind of got me in this realm a couple
Mhm.
years ago, but, just that we're in the age of just so much consumption
Yes.
and everything is just thrown at us all the time. And we're kind of over-informed. And, and it's not just social media. I mean, it's media in general and
Yes.
Google and everything. Like, if you have a question, you can find out that information immediately. And so there's almost like this sense of a global ADHD thing happening too,
Yeah.
because "Oh, I have this thought, let me look it up real quick." Instead of processing it ourselves and really thinking through it, all of that, so I really, really enjoyed the book, and then, of course, it relates to our kids and
Yes.
them growing up in this day
And
and
also
age.
ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
So overwhelming that it's for us as an adults too, you
Yeah,
know?
it really did kind of show how it affects us as adults as well as the kids. I mean, and that was the primary focus of the book, was just really getting our kids off of devices more and
Yes.
getting them more in the real world, delaying the smartphone, delaying phones in general because of all the psychological effects that it's having on that generation.
Mhm.
But again, our generation was at the 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 beginning stages of it
Yes,
in a very small way, but we've been affected too, and
1,000%.
yeah, so, I mean, it was a very, very interesting read. Even if you don't have kids, I would recommend it for people to read just because it really gives you more of a, perspective on what really all of this is doing to our brains and our emotional well-being. So, because of that, I decided to detox from social media aside from our Bookmates account.
Yes. Because that one brings us joy.
That one brings us joy, and it's something that I'm not looking at news, I'm not looking at political stuff, I'm not looking at it's not like this over, swiping of things, I'm engaging more with the accounts that
Yes,
we have
you have
formed
been doing
some
an amazing job with that, yes.
and that's been great, to reach out to accounts specifically that align kind of where we're at and just
Yes,
have, a joint love for reading and the types of books that we're reading and all of that. So that's been really fun. I've been enjoying that part of
yes.
it. So that was my little side tangent there.
And you're but you know something, it's, and to pair it up, with our books and everything, example A, B, C, and D with me, I have this huge list of books that I really want to read, but then, I see something and I get sidetracked. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes,
It doesn't give you, it's almost like pushing you to not finish things.
exactly. Yes.
And that is something for example, for me, I have to say this is like the first fall that I am actually enjoying the season because I'm not putting pressure on myself of all these things that I want to do before, October 31st and just check everything out in a box, just because it wasn't giving me joy. It was just like, okay, well, take a picture and then post. It's like, oh, we did this. And the behind the scenes was meltdowns, you
Yep.
being stressed because you wanted this to be, I love so much the also that we have each other and we're super real with that, and we have talked about, those things, how hard and we've been pushed to do these things and be, like, oh, this FOMO that oh, well, I want to do it too. And at the end of the day, it's like, and also there's so many things that can go from there, because then you see how people keep buying things that they're not really sustainable, and then they just use it for one time and then just take a picture and then just, well, what am I going to do with this, or throw it away, it's all tied into it, and we can go down a rabbit hole like
Oh, we
we
could. Yeah. Well, because that was an eye opener for me too. I mean, we try to minimize, that wasn't a word. Minimize.
yeah.
I'm off of it today. My brain's on vacation mode.
Good.
But we
You
try to
deserve it.
minimize the use of plastics anyway,
Mhm.
and, and like you said, I mean, we the consumerism right now is so high, and
out
I
of
think
control.
it's partly because of, like you just said, like, we need to post this
1,000%.
thing, we need to show that we're doing this, and I do get that the influencers out there that they're doing it for a career. I get it. Completely get it. Like, they're getting paid to do this, that is their livelihood, all of that, but that doesn't mean that the rest of us have to do it all the
But how
time.
sustainable that can be,
It
you know?
Yeah, because, I mean, all that stuff's gonna end up in a landfill and,
Exactly.
you know yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, the detox has been really good. I did not realize how much I check my phone in a day. I'm talking, like, I knew this before a couple years ago whenever I did this after reading Johann Hari's book, but again, I think I had gotten worse about it, and it's like we don't know what to do with spare time anymore.
No,
So,
no, we don't.
even in between when I'm cooking dinner and I'm waiting for the onions to finish, sautéing,
There you go, and check it, yeah.
I'll be like, and I'll just scroll real quick for, like,
Mhm.
30 seconds, and
And
I'm
then
like,
you keep giving hearts to things that you didn't even sit down to read and, really see what it was about.
yeah. So I didn't realize how much I would pick it up and I was like, "Oh, nope, not gonna do that. Not gonna do that." And it really took a solid 2 weeks. I'm at 2 weeks now of, okay, I'm now not grabbing for it as much, but it took
Yep.
a long time. And so I'm also journaling as I'm going, and
Nice, yeah.
I'm writing down all these kind of revelations, and then
I
writing
love
down the different things I'm reading and even different podcasts because, like you said, now I have time. I wanted to do all these things, but I didn't have the time to do it because I'm sitting there scrolling for an
yeah,
hour, and that was
and
the
you
other
go down
thing.
a rabbit hole, 1,000%.
Yeah, like, I didn't
You go.
realize how long, because you can look on your phone, it'll give you the
Oh,
tracker of.
I don't look because then I will be like, yeah, I'm I'm so impressed by what you're doing. I don't think I will be ready right now to do that because of the revelation that it will be for me, you know?
Yeah,
No, really, and especially, we have bookmates account, but then I have my travel account, I have my spiritual account as well, and then my private account.
yeah,
We're talking about four things right now, and you see the difference when you have to be pulled through so many different so many different ways. You're in the phone all the time.
yes,
It's ridiculous, it
yes.
is.
Yep, so what I'm doing too, like, I didn't realize how many times I wanted to post something, I was like, "Ooh, I need to post this." Like, that's our new world, right? And I was
Yep.
like, instead of posting it, I wrote it down. I wrote it and in journaling it, or if I feel like I need to take a picture of something, a new thing I'm cooking or whatever, I'll take a picture of it, but I'm not posting anything. I'm doing it just for my own
Yeah.
benefit, journal, all of that. So, it's been really great, and I'm not 100% off. I'll go in and check every now and then, but what I'm 100% off of is scrolling. So, I'm
Yeah.
not scrolling. I'm basically going in to check messages. There's a
Checking
couple.
all the memes that I send her of Henry Cavill and all of that.
Yep, I gotta check all of
Yeah.
yours. I gotta get up to date on those. So and then, a couple of accounts that are really meaningful for me and self-development and all that stuff, I'll check those. But yeah, I mean, that's
I'm very proud of you. I
thank
am.
you.
I am.
Thank
Because it's not an easy task, but it's hard because like Shelley was saying, if your business is depending on social media, it has come to a point that the more you post is the more that you're going to be exposed to others. That's why TikTok has been such a huge thing because it's short and sweet. people don't want to sit down and read.
Yep. Well, and that was part of the whole ADHD epidemic that's
Yes.
happening.
No wonder everybody has it now.
Yeah,
How could
because
you not?
nobody wants
You're
to.
getting bombarded by so many things.
Yeah, nobody wants to sit down and read a full article. They wanna read the Cliffs Notes, they want a little short video just pointing those few things out instead of, a conversation about it.
Yeah.
So, so I'm read that, and then I'm reading Powerless. That was the one that you and I went and got,
Yes. Yeah.
and I decided to start reading that one. I like it. I like it with any of those. I was telling Warren the other night, I was like, "Oh, this is so slow to get going." That those first 3 to 4 chapters of world building and the introduction of characters, and
You're like, "Ugh."
I'm always, "Okay, I'll read a chapter, fall asleep. The next day I'll read a chapter." And it's like, "Okay, let me just I'm ready for the meat of it." But,
Yeah.
it's starting to kind of pick up a little bit more. I'm interested in the characters. So far so good. It's keeping my interest. I'm curious where the story's going to go and where the
Okay.
characters are going to go and how it's going to play out. It's got a little Hunger Games feel to it,
Okay.
which
Almost also like fourth wing type of.
no. Mm, maybe some components of it. Yeah, I
Okay.
guess because of the magic and each person has
Yeah.
something, and
Okay.
they're kind of competing in these trials. And
Okay.
and it's a status thing too. There's that
Okay.
that part of it. So I'm interested in it. It's
Okay.
yeah, it's intriguing. And then I'm reading Spellbound.
Oh yeah. Are you liking that
I
one?
am. I'm actually listening to that one.
Ooh, Shelley, Mama, I'm so proud of you. Look at you go.
I know it.
Hey, mira, clap, clap.
And what else? I feel like there's something else that I was kind of like going back. Oh, I am going back through the 4 agreements.
That's an amazing book. Everybody needs to read that. I remember when I was reading that one for the first time, and it says, "Not everything is about you." I'm like, okay, thank
Yep.
you.
Yep. Don't
It,
take
yeah,
everything personally.
yeah. It's a book that is gonna call you out, and it's so needed.
And it's so great. I mean, this will be maybe my 3rd time reading it, but it's short, right? It's short and
Yes,
sweet, and he does such a great job at it, and I think it's just those little reminders, and I timed this whole media detox to dive
to do
back
it.
into that
Yeah.
again just to get all of my perspectives aligned, and so I can really take on this detox time
And would you
fully.
think that now, uh, have you have you received any of the books medicine? Because for me that book is medicine a
Yes.
thousand percent. Have you received that in a different way or aspect versus the first time or the second one that you
Oh,
read
yeah,
it?
every time I read it because it's whatever I'm going through at that time or wherever my mind frame is, there's those
Yes.
different agreements stick out more than the
Yes.
others.
Yes.
So and I think there's been
Because it's about
times.
cycles.
Yeah, and what's interesting too is, my brain looks to, "Oh, this is something that this person needs to read or that person needs to read," and
Yeah,
then I have to stop myself. I'm like, "Okay, but what is it about me? Like, how can I," because it's so easy to point those things out in other people,
definitely.
and
Definitely.
it's way harder to align yourself with it.
It's very hard for us to not go into fixer mode
Yes.
and just, say, "You know something? Yes, this person will definitely get so much out of this, but this person is not ready for it."
Yeah.
And we need to learn to also And I think that's the hardest part, when we need to take a step back
Yeah.
and say, okay, you know,
Yeah.
let, how is this going to be for me and not
Yes.
for others?
Yes. I know. I got told that on Friday by Warren. He's like, "You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to do everything that pops up." What
And you're like, what?
are you talking about?
Have you been reading the book that I have been reading? See, to our listeners, you all have to be very proud of us, especially of me, because see that we talk about other things that are not just, spicy peppers
I
here.
know.
Look at us go.
Yeah. It was interesting too going to that fixing thing. My grandmother passed away last week.
Yes.
Uh Unexpectedly but expectedly,
Hmm.
being that she's kind of been in that state for since last November, but then when
Yeah.
it happened very suddenly,
Abruptly. Yeah.
and it was shocking that I didn't get to do some things for myself to like see her and be with her, and I mean I was bawling my eyes out with you, and you were so
Yeah.
amazing support for me. But that was part of that, like, making it more about me than about her too. And I had to really like detach from that. And I was working myself through it whenever I called you,
Yes.
that this was her thing. This was her timing. This was, the conversation that she had with God, because that's what I believe. And
Yeah.
that was their thing. And even the whole weekend, it's like I had to stop myself because I wanted to do so much to help my mom. I wanted to do so
Hmm.
much to make things okay. And I
And to
was just
ease
so,
her burden.
yeah. And I was just so glad that I was reading that book, The Four Agreements, along with it, because it was helping me just take that step back and just soak in all of the family and just being together, because we were laughing. Weddings and funerals, that's the only
Yeah,
time that you see everybody.
exactly. Exactly. You're right. Yep.
So, I mean, we made it fun, but yeah, I had that, gosh, that strong fixer was really pronounced, and it was okay. Let's just take a step back here.
Well, because it's almost like we have been so programmed to think that the only way that we're valuable is if we fix or if we're, taking control or easing something from others, when sometimes you just have to be
Yeah.
there,
Yep. Just have to be
Sometimes your
present.
presence is what it's needed. Sometimes a person just needs to be heard. Um and like you said, you have been there for me also in some things that we're going through right now, and sometimes you just need someone to listen to you,
Yeah.
just like to say, this is BS, I'm so sorry you're going through this, but that also helps that person unload what they're going through, and then just be able to keep going day by day. And I love that you guys did the celebration, I think it was very on par with the life that she lived. And like I wrote to your mom, your sister, and yourself in the little um online
Oh, uh-huh.
uh it really says a lot about the life of a person when you see their family members, celebrating and, feeling so much their loss, um so I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but in a way I'm also glad that you were able to go, when you
Yeah.
went in the past, and
Yes.
like we were talking about uh how you like when you took the boys and all of that, Um so yeah, but it's yeah.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you more.
I love that I like how you had said it. I mean, I think that's, friendships, this is where friendships are so valuable and
Vital.
in these moments cuz like you said, all the things that I unleashed on you is things that I was feeling in those moments that I really didn't want to put on my mom, who was also grieving, or anybody else, or make it about anything. I could just kind of process through all of that with you, which was great. And same thing, vice versa, with things that you've been going through
Yeah.
and mothering. And I mean, good Lord, it is hard.
It is
Life
a
can be hard
show.
sometimes, and I
Oh,
say
yeah.
that no I mean, as I'm sitting here in my nice, comfortable, air-conditioned home, but
But again, it's we have talked about this before, people are so quick to jump and say, well, and compare what they're going through, and you cannot do that.
yeah,
Every person has is going through their own thing.
their own struggles, and
Yeah.
one's not
And
more so than the other.
and you don't know in what part of their journey that person is. You don't know if that person is starting to embrace everything, and that's why they feel so overwhelmed, versus it's a seasoned person that's like, well, this shit show has gone, this is like my fourth, fifth time
Yeah.
going on it. I'm like, well, yeah, it's bad, but here we are. It's
Well,
again,
and I
it's
think to bring it back around to books is the joy of reading books,
yes,
because everything that we go through, these characters are going through in some way or
yeah,
another, and we can relate to them. And that's why we love certain books and certain characters and themes, even if it's fantasy. I think we've said this before, they're still relatable in,
it's the core,
yeah, yeah.
it's the
And the
core
things,
theme.
yeah. I mean, I
You
might not
can
be
have
fighting off a
dragons
dragon.
flying around, yeah, but at the core is about friendship and
Struggles and overcoming
struggles, being
obstacles.
past things. I think that's why we fell in love so much with Aelin,
Yes,
in Throne of Glass,
yes,
because I loved how Sarah J. Maas was able to, at the end of the day, put women friendship and connections
yes.
as a core. They had it all. They could be at each other's throats. I think that's why I don't like tropes that are like, miscommunication,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then an ex comes in. I'm like, "Bleh, no, can't.
yeah,
Sorry."
yeah.
I would DNF that like in a heartbeat. I'm like,
Oh, I
yeah,
know, I'm like,
not gonna happen. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
we don't need that drama in here.
No, thank you.
Alright, I know you have to go to an appointment.
Yes. But we could be here talking forever,
Oh,
but I don't know.
forever. I know.
Yeah.
Well,
What books are you up to? Did you see that the last book for Blood and Ash is coming out in May
yes,
of 2025?
yes. I don't know how I feel about that.
Me neither. I thought we were gonna get 2 books more from
I
those, but
know, I
apparently
did
only
too.
1. Yeah, I
I
have
don't
to go
know,
back.
I have a feeling there's gonna be 2.
Well,
Maybe. I mean, I just still feel like there's so much that will happen.
if she does a thicker book,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad if it's like a Court of Silver Frames type of book,
Yeah.
like thick,
Yeah.
like she did for the last
Yeah,
one,
yeah. I
or
think I would be
if
okay
it's
with
like
that.
a Kingdom of Ash thick book.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at that versus like 2 books of like maybe 400 pages, and like,
Mhm.
but
We may have to
yeah,
plan an event.
Shelley, we have to.
I think we have to. I mean, that will be the bookend.
Yeah. No, don't say that. I haven't finished the second, graphic novel from Blood and Ash because I don't want it to end, and I don't wanna wait until God not Lord, God only knows when the other one is gonna come out.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
I know you don't like the graphic novels,
Oh,
but
man, I
it's
can. I just feel like they're so cheesy.
they are, but, like, whatever.
And you know me, I just blush it when I'm reading it, so to hear it
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like I mean, when I was listening to Butcher and Blackbird even, I was like, "Oh my god.
That one is good.
This one's pushing it."
That one,
That was
I
a good
was so
audiobook.
that was an amazing audiobook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
one where I was like,
and I was very proud, extremely proud of you
"I know."
by that. I was like, "Wow."
Yep.
I'm like, "Kudos." The one that the Enigma one,
Uh-huh.
it's good, and the spicy scenes are good. Um, there are a lot of them, but they're not as intense in the multitude of things that could be going on. I am so proud of myself
You're
right
doing
now.
great.
Thank you so much. Um, so yeah, it's spicy, but it's not, like, oh,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, wow, dude.
And if you're saying that, I can only imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I'm happy with the type of detail that it's been shared in the wow, Yvonne.
Oh, you're doing great. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm doing so
gold
good.
star that I don't have to put an age restriction on this one when I post
Thank
it.
you. See? See, I can control myself, you know?
All right, you need to
I
get to your appointment, right?
I do have to say, I think I have to do maybe a book, maybe a reel of the books that my husband has enjoyed that he hasn't read.
That would probably be a good one.
Uh, yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
So I'm probably I'll maybe work on that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah. And Shelly can be all crimson.
Yes, I'll be like, "I don't know if I can watch a reel." Alrighty. Well, I love you.
Me too. Maybe we can read Blackbird Oracle
No,
that
that's the
we
other one. I really wanna read it,
let's do
during this
that
fall
one in
time.
November.
Okay.
That's a good,
It is, and I really
only that one. We're not gonna do any other
no,
on November.
no. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
It's already crazy busy.
Yeah. And I'm gonna start Crescent City in January.
Good luck with that.
Shelly!
I don't know, Yvonne. I don't know if I'm ready.
Mano,
I mean,
come
I
on.
say that, okay, I'll bring it with me skiing and we'll
I
see.
read you know something? I'm gonna do it. I read Throne of Glass because of you.
Was that me?
Yeah, you were the one pushing it. I was like, I don't know. It's and look, it changed my life.
I know. Okay. I'll do
Uh,
it.
Well, think about it, okay?
You know how it is, you get started, I'll catch up.
Claro, because I'll be like, "Oh, I'm up chapter like 40," and she's like, "Okay, I'll start today." And that night, she's like, "I'm up chapter 39." I'm like, "What?" And I've been like reading for 2 weeks. Now she already know, and my husband too. When he sees me like reading a lot, he's like, "What? Is Shelly reading it with you?" And she's like on like halfway there. I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, but you better get on it." I'm like, "Thank you."
So you start in January, I'll start in February.
Like, whatever. Okay. We'll do it.
Alright. I love you. Till next
Me too.
time.
Bye.